Could ever get the lighting to work?
What's up, everybody? It's been a while since I've done a training log. I figured now's as good a time as any. I ended up having to snowblow this morning. For some reason, we're still getting snow in mid-March, so that's always fun. But basically what that means is my workout, my training session from today got pushed to this evening. I wasn't actually planning on doing it this evening, but I didn't have anything else to do. I had a pocket of time, so I figured this is a perfect time to film a training log versus in the morning when I'm being rushed and have to make it into work and whatnot. It's tough to film and get a good workout in, so I don't want to just put out a half-assed product to you guys, and I also don't want to get in a half-assed session. I just don't think it makes sense. So I had time, and I figured let's do it. I will be doing more of these in the future, but more on that in about 1 month. I know I'm giving you guys a little bit of a teaser here, but there will be some changes coming soon to the channel. I'll be talking more about that in the coming weeks and maybe up to a month. We'll see. Either way, what I want you guys to focus on today for the session, this isn't programming, this isn't proximity to failure, volume, frequency, etc. This is the unquantifiables, the intangibles of lifting. I talk a lot on my channel. It's a lot of programming advice. It's a lot of my lifting philosophies. Stuff that you can talk about and teach through words. What I'm showing you guys here, what I'm teaching you from this style of training log, isn't programming. This is mindset. It's effort levels. It's mental intensity, focus, things that you can't teach through words. So this is a video to watch, not necessarily to listen to. I do have a few things I plan on talking about today, but I want you to watch. Watch my technique. Watch how I avoid cutting corners at all costs. Watch my tempo. Watch my facial expressions. That's the biggest giveaway if someone's training hard or not training hard. You see these guys on Instagram that have a perfect facial expression staring directly at the wall. Nothing moves at all. They're breathing shallow. That's obvious that it's a half-assed set. You should look ugly when you train. I look like a pig when I train, and that's a good thing. It means I'm training hard. That's what I want you guys to see. And with all that being said, one thing I do want to talk about a little bit more today is my overall program. I have a few, I wouldn't say major changes to my program right now, but a few changes of goals and of focus, I guess is the right word to use. Lately, I have been focusing more on, and lately I mean the past 6 months or so, on just an arm specialization, putting arms as my highest priority. There's a few reasons why I am starting to move away from this. So the first thing before I get into that is I definitely don't regret specializing in my arms for the past 6 months. I have made noticeable gains. I'm happy with it. I'm satisfied with it. And I do not want you guys to think I'm a hypocrite to say I'm done specializing. It doesn't make sense. It's too early. Where I did just add a decent amount of size to my arms. So I'm not regretting what I did, but I put a little bit of size on my arms at the expense of developing everything else. So most of my physique has been kind of flatlined for the past 6 months. I have had some gains in my, obviously my arms, a little bit in my traps and my quads, but everything else has basically been on maintenance. So like I said, there's a few reasons why I'm moving away from this. One, because I brought my arms up and I'm happy with it. And I think they're caught up to everything else just about. Definitely not a genetic strength for me, so it's just one of those things where it is what it is for now. So I have a ways to go, in my opinion. I know some people think I'm on steroids. Some people probably think I look like a "Do you even lift?" I think I'm in a spot where I still have a ways to go. I think I can make noticeable changes in my physique. I'm still young. I still have good years ahead of me to progress in terms of adding muscle to my frame. So I don't see too much of a point in continuing a specialization phase in such a small muscle group right now. I do obviously still care about aesthetics and the way that the physique looks. I think it's necessary for bodybuilding, and I would never just want to be someone that's packing on as much mass as possible and not worrying about smaller muscle groups because they don't add pounds to the scale. So what I'm trying to get at right now, I'm looking to build as much muscle as possible and still worry about the aesthetics, but I think I still have a ways to go in terms of just adding mass overall. So arms will always be something that I'll treat with a high regard and prioritize forever at certain points in my training. But the way I see it is I still have a ways to go in terms of just adding muscle mass to my frame, adding weight to the scale. I also have genetic strengths that I should be focusing on to build my best physique possible. And this isn't just me. We all have certain genetic strengths and weaknesses. And for myself, arms are going to be tedious to grow, especially triceps. There's certain muscle groups I have where I could put a ton of focus into them and really dedicate a ton of my training to them and get minimal to moderate results. Versus if I just put all of my emphasis on a muscle that blows up when I train it, like my entire posterior chain, biceps, stuff like this, I could build my best physique by focusing on what I was gifted with. And I think while I would love to have big, huge croissant triceps, that would be awesome. That would take me forever. I'd have to specialize forever to actually get there. And that's not to be black-pilled or pessimistic, but I think being realistic with what your genetic strengths and weaknesses are, it allows you to see what your potential is, and you can see what your ceiling is in your genetic strengths. So for myself, I would love to have perfect tricep genetics, and I would love to be able to develop my triceps to a freaky level. But at the same time, is this a grass is always greener effect where I have great bicep genetics and I have a ton of potential to build up my biceps, but I want triceps? Is that because I'm gifted in biceps and I want what I can't have? So it's one of those weird paradoxes where I think it's best for me to focus on muscle groups that have a ton of potential on my frame that will make me look jacked and even just almost cover up weak spots. And I think that's an underrated topic where you can have weak spots, but I think if your strengths are true strengths and you've really developed them to be strong points on your physique, that can almost overshadow and hide certain weaknesses that you have. So maybe for me, the secret, instead of just focusing all my time and effort on triceps for minimal progress, maybe the best thing for me to do is go all in on biceps and have that take over the triceps in a way. So obviously it's a conversation of aesthetics and proportions and all that kind of stuff, but that's just my 2 cents. That's just me thinking out loud right now. So some of the noticeable changes, which I wouldn't say they're major changes to my program, but some of the, I guess, larger things that I will be changing and focusing on now will be, the first one is my upper body days are going to have a little bit more shoulder work and a little bit more torso work overall, mostly in terms of lats. So I'll be doing 2 vertical pull variations on my upper days. Right now I'm running an upper-lower split 6 times a week, so 3 upper days and 3 lower days, moderate volume per session. So my upper days, it's going to be a lift for each muscle group, and then a little bit more for shoulders and for back. These are muscles that grow easily for me, so why not take advantage of that and just milk out that growth? So my lower days, the major change that I'm making here, one was I upped my lower days from 2 times a week to 3 times a week when I started my bulk. I'll have extra energy, I'll have extra time, and I have potential to actually build muscle now. So now that I've been in a bulk for about 2 or 3 weeks, I think it makes sense to do this. So the way my lower days look, there's 2 big hitter days where I'm doing Smith machine hack squats, and I'm also going to be reintroducing some hip hinges. I haven't trained my glutes, hamstrings, low back, spinal erectors in about 6 months plus, and I haven't specialized in them in years. So in general, I'm looking forward to getting back to training a few new muscle groups more regularly. It'll be fun to reintroduce some spinal erector, low back, glute, hamstring, just general posterior chain training. In my opinion, I don't think they're the most important muscle groups, but for myself, yeah, I mean, I have a ton of potential there, and that's just something that I think I should be taking advantage of, especially at a point like now where a lot of my muscles have just been maintaining for a little bit. I want to get some growth again, so going for those 2 big lower days, and then I do have that third lower day that's sandwiched in the middle of the week. And this third day is great. It's perfect for home gyms because I can just go down, get done what I need to do, and then get out of the gym. It's basically just leg press, calf raises, and decline sit-ups. It's a frequency day, it's a volume day, just to add that third session and add that little bit of extra volume. So with that being said, that's it for the video. I'll see you guys soon.